there we go. That just can't get on during the day just because of, schedules and work and all that kind of stuff. So I always record these so they can have access to them afterwards. But we're just so appreciative of you being on and talking to us a little bit. And I know that I shared their questions with you earlier. And these group of coaches are just longtime lifer coaches, many of whom, and we've talked about this, so this is not like I'm saying something mean about them. They've been sitting at the same place for quite a while, and they're all, as I told you, off about it. So it's time to move. And so we've been doing some mentoring and some working together, running some snapshots into coaching and meeting every week and using an accountability tracker and trying to find all the things that will help us sort of move out of this space that we've been in for a while. And as you can see from the questions that they shared with you, one of them in particular is recruiting, how to find those coaches. So we've been talking a lot about that. So I think what's so great about what you bring, Sydney, is that you talk to so many different teams. You talk to so many different coaches, and you can hear what's working for people. So I know that you've got some stuff to share. They'll have some questions to ask of you. And we would like you to come back to Indiana sooner than Summit sometime. So
yeah, oh my gosh, I love that. Seriously, anytime. Perfect. So you just want me to get started?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, I am super excited to be here with you guys today. Honestly, I'm a little nervous too. I'm like, I even told Jill, I'm like, thanks for sending me to the firing squad. So, but no, seriously, like I do want you guys to ask questions. This call is for you. So I'm going to share kind of, because I know it's a lot about recruiting, duplication, and I'm going to share a couple things that I already want to tell you guys right off the bat. And then after that, like, drill me with questions. I want to make sure that you guys get what you want from me out of this call too, and not just end it and be like, I already knew all that stuff. Because you guys have been here for a long time. You guys are doing the things, but I'm just going to kind of give you guys a fresh perspective almost. So recently, I guess for those of you guys who don't know me, I've been with Beachbody for about 4 years. I'm now in the West region. I work with 1 to 8 stars in the West region. And I feel like Beachbody kind of goes in waves, right? Like you hear people talking about one aspect of the business, and then all of a sudden it changes to another aspect, and then all of a sudden it changes to another aspect. And I feel right now like we are doing very well with what we're watching now, like what coaches are looking for, what coaches are recruiting to, what we're paying attention to. And at the end of the day, I want you guys to look at 2 aspects of coaching, okay? And they're both kind of the same. Is at the end of the day, you guys are an accountability coach, okay? That's your job. That's what you do every single day is you're an accountability coach in 2 aspects. One, the fitness, one, the business, okay? And you guys need to be talking about both and realizing that you are both. Accountability coach in the fitness, accountability coach in the business. So first, let's look at like recruiting. The accountability coaches of recruiting, right? First off, I mean, you guys know you guys need to be sharing your story every single day. You guys know you guys need to be on Instagram, at least 1 time in your feed. I would say about 10 times on your stories every single day. Be energized, be charismatic, smile, like be interesting. Like you guys know all that, right? But when it gets into recruiting business builders, first off, I'm a huge believer of what you talk about is what you attract. So I hear all the time of coaches wanting to recruit business builders, but they're not talking about the business all the time, right? So a couple things I want you to do is, one is I want you to make a list of 20 things that you love about coaching. 20 things that have changed your life about coaching. Maybe it's the time, maybe it's the community, maybe it's the hustle, maybe it's the income. I love income posts. I think they're great, and I think they work really well. Just make sure you use the income disclaimer. Share, I'm so grateful that I'm able to work this business part-time and pay for my groceries every single month. You have to realize that I read the statistic the other day. It was like 75% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Guys, that's who I would be running after. And I'd be showing them like, hey, you can come work this business part-time and I'll help you pay for your groceries. I'll put your daughter in dance lessons. I'll pay for your utility bills, like all this stuff that we can do with it. I'll teach you how to earn $500 extra a month, right? Don't be so afraid to talk about the income, because I think it's powerful, especially when you want to recruit business builders. So make a list of 20 things that you love about coaching, and right there is 20 posts. Once you're done with those 20 posts, recycle them and do them again. recycle them and do them again. Like, always be talking about it. Like, I want people to memorize your story. Okay, memorize your story means you have to be talking about it consistently every single day. Number 2, when you are posting these, business builder posts and you're recruiting for business builders and you're talking about Beachbody, is I want you to ask yourself some self-reflective questions. Okay, I see this all the time, and I think this is fabulous when you say, hey, I'm looking for 10 to 15 women who want to lose, 10 to 15 pounds by Memorial Day, Labor Day, whatever day is coming up. I think that's excellent. But why don't you ask for this? And then I think this is something that's missing a lot. I'm looking for 10 women who are disciplined, who want to hustle, who want to make a change in their life, who want to, get some income, who want to, be a part of a community, but work hard with a group of inspiring women. Like, ask those type of questions. So when you're recruiting, people are automatically knowing what they're getting into. Okay. So you're putting them, that's kind of your social media. Then you're throwing them into sneak peeks. First off, if you're not doing a sneak peek, do them. They're working, and they're working really well. Right now, what I see is working the best is a day sneak peek, a sneak peek that lasts for just one day, like a 24-hour one. And then I'm also seeing what's working really well is just a 1-hour sneak peek. And especially this day and age, people are wanting to know something, and people are wanting to know something now. They don't want to wait for 5 days. They don't want to be on a thing for 5 days to learn about what's really going on. Like, if people are interested, they want to know now. So if you're not running sneak peeks, start running them. Do a day one, do a 24-hour one, and do even just like a 1-hour sneak peek. I have a coach right now, and she calls them like, coffee, come have coffee with me for an hour. And they all bring their coffee cups, and she talks about the business. She talks to them for an hour, and at the very end, it's enrollment. She shares her story. It's powerful. And she gets people signed at the very end, and then sends them like the Starbucks gift card if they sign up right there. Like, these little things are working. And then from there, honestly, it's the follow-up. Power of the follow-up, and you heard of this 100 times too. I want you to follow up with someone until one of you dies. And I know that sounds freaking crazy, but seriously, like, you follow up with that person every single month until one of you dies, because that's what's working right now. I was at Team Cup this last week with Ashley Molstead and her team. And I asked every single one of them on her team, like, how long did you follow Ashley until you finally signed up? Every single one of them was over a year. Okay, over a year of watching Ashley every single day, which again, that's why really at the end of the day, guys, consistency is key. You have to show up every single day. I want you to show up on the worst days. I want you to show up on the best days. I want you to be on your social media. I want you to be energized. I want you to invite daily. I want you to do those call to actions and really ask yourself, are you doing them? Really gut check yourself. Am I showing up every single day? I tell this story all the time, so sorry if you've heard it before, of when I first came into Beachbody. I had a whole bunch of coaches I was talking to, like you guys, that were kind of stagnant and having problems with inviting and having problems recruiting and saying, there's so many Beachbody coaches, this is so hard. So what I started doing is I went through my personal Facebook page, and I found one girl that was a Beachbody coach. So I reached out to her, and I was just like, hey, I'm like, small world. I work with Beachbody Corporate. Can I ask you why you never invited me? And she said to me, she goes, well, Sydney, why would I? She goes, I see you posting pictures of you on your boat on the weekends, and it doesn't look like you physically need a transformation, right? Like, you don't have a lot of pounds to lose. And she goes, and I also know that you do pretty well in the mortgage industry. So she's like, you don't need the income. And I honestly thought to myself, it's like a punch in the stomach, honestly. And I thought to myself, well, wait a second. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to look at me and make a decision for me? Because that's exactly what she did. Because what she doesn't know, and what I would never post on social media still to this day, is that I've struggled with an eating disorder my whole life. I've tried every get skinny, quick, rat pill, formula supplement, everything out there I've tried. What she also didn't know is I cried every single day coming home from my mortgage industry job. Did I post that on social media? Like, hey, I have an eating disorder. No. Or like, hey, I'm falling from work again. Like my job sucks. I hate my life. No. Social media is a highlight reel. So when I asked you guys about being consistent and I asked you guys about being inviting and all this stuff, and I know you guys are kind of in this tough place right now, is I'm going to turn that finger around to you guys right now. Who do you think you are? Every single one of you on this call, I guarantee you guys have all done this where you've passed people by on social media. You're like, oh, they don't want this. They don't want this. I feel weird inviting them. They automatically already know what I do, so they would reach out to me if they were interested. No. They don't. And guess what? At the end of the day, it is not your freaking decision to make this for them. I don't care if you guys get told no. I really don't. Because as long as that they get to make their decisions for themselves, that's all that matters. This business is about you being an accountability coach. So invite them to hold them accountable. That's your job, right? You have this piece of gold in your hand. Go out there and give it to people. And like I said, you guys have been in this business for a long time, so you probably think, well, they know me. If they want me, they'll come to me. They know what I do. I guarantee it, they probably still have no idea. Or I guarantee it, they're too afraid to reach out to you because they're putting you on this high pedestal that's like, oh my gosh, who could I pick on? Oh my gosh, Melissa. Melissa's like so amazing, so up here, like doing all the things. Like, I'm too nervous to reach out to her, right? Like, it's sometimes scary. So I want you to do the work. I want you to do the hustle, and I want you to reach out to these people and invite them. And then at the same time, like in your post, do those self-reflective questions. I'm asking for someone who's disciplined, who wants to change their life, who's ready to hustle. All those things hand in hand with your invite, I think it's going to kind of start picking up the momentum. Okay, my second part of accountability, and then we can go to Q&A, is you have to hold your brand new coaches accountable. So I'm sure you guys are signing coaches, right? And some of them, like, you just cannot get them to hit Success Club, and you cannot get them to do the things. And you're like, I have all the material, like, do it. Right? Like, we're telling them to do all this work. Like, you put them in trainings. I know you guys have an amazing team. Like, you have all the things. But my question for you guys is, are you truly holding them accountable? I got this from Haley Christians, and she's just doing amazing with her accountability. So I wanted to share a couple things she's doing. So when she first signs up a coach, and she kind of gets them starting through training, like before GSR, she asks them a question on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you of being a coach? How serious are you to reach your why? Okay. And as soon as, they're usually around like an 8 to a 10, So she gets them on a call right then. If they rate high on her little 1 through 10, she gets them on a call right then. She talks to them. She tells them that she's super excited, and she sets weekly goals with them. She says, okay, the first thing you're going to do in your job, in your Beachbody job, is you're going to hit Emerald. What Emerald is it's 2 coaches. On top of that, I want you to be at SC4 by next week. On top of that, I want you to be on your Instagram. You have to post every single day for 7 days, and you have to be on your stories 10 to 15 times a day, and kind of tells them examples of what to post. So it leaves the guessing game out of it. Right? She also says, okay, are you good with these goals? And they said yes. And she goes, okay, well, can I hold you accountable? And they say yes. And she goes, okay, can I look at your Instagram? Can I pull up your Instagram right now? And they're like, yes. Okay, can I give you some feedback? So she's asking them permission, almost like, can I hold you accountable? Can I give you feedback? So right then and there, she pulls up their Instagram page, because she's telling them, right, you need to post every single day on your feed, and then 10 times a day on your stories. So she pulls it up and she goes, okay, well, this is what looks really good, but can I give you some feedback? And they say yes. And she goes, okay, well, your lighting sucks. Right? Or, I don't really know what you're doing, and I haven't seen your call to actions, or, look at the lighting from here to here, and like turns her computer so people can see like the actual lighting that they're looking at. Gives them a critique, tells them exactly what to do, and it says, okay, I'm going to hold you accountable. We're going to get on a call next week, this same time, this same Zoom link. Now, these are your 3 goals. Remember, I said Emerald, SC4, and you have to post on your IG stories, and you have to invite everyone who's liked and commented on your stories too. That was part of it. And then if you do that, that's great. We'll be on a call. If you do not post on social media, I will check 10 minutes before a call. And if I don't see 7 posts and I don't see you constantly on your stories, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to try again the next week, because that's the way to get her time. And I think it's genius, guys, because sometimes when we're recruiting brand new coaches, we're putting them through trainings and we're just kind of throwing up all over them and we're like, okay, ready, go. I'll talk to you once you hit Success Club. No, let's help these coaches out at the beginning. Let's help these coaches and let's hold them accountable and say, okay, here's your 3 things you're going to do. Go do it. If you do, I'll get on another call with you. Right? And then give them the actual material and feedback. I think another great thing to do right from the very beginning, you sign up a brand new coach and like in your welcome email, okay, welcome to my team. Number 1, as a coach, or I would even say this, I've noticed my most successful challengers always has an accountability partner to do this with them. Who's your accountability partner that you want to have sign up today, just like you did? Guys, this is a great line for discount coaches. This is a great line for challengers. Get them in, tell them they need an accountability partner, and say, okay, who's your accountability partner that you want to have sign up today, just like you did? So if they signed up with Transform 20, they just need to find one person to do Transform 20 with them. What you'll do is you'll have that person sign up underneath them. They're halfway to Emerald. They're getting more of a discount on their shake. They're feeling good without them even realizing what they're doing, right? It's stupid simple, but we just got to ask. As a working coach, what I would do if they came in, because we're recruiting business builders, same type of thing, but I would say number 1, before you even put them into a training, number 1, as a coach, we help 3 people every single month. Who's your first 3 people that you want to have sign up today, just like you did? Guys, I took that right from Emily Faber's welcome email. That's what she did. That's how she was number 1 in the network last year for that SC1 category. It was by using that line. And she used that line actually for discount coaches too. Even as a discount coach, she said, okay, as a coach, we help 3 people. Who's your first 3 people that you want to have sign up, just like you did? Oh no, we helped 15 a month.
Okay, I have a question. Really, yeah. I want to make sure I'm clear on this too, because I heard Haley talk about this on our Superstar Mastermind.
Yes.
And I think it's brilliant. And you probably said it. I just want to make sure when I was writing, so I want to make sure I'm getting it. If she has this call with a new coach and they say they're okay with these goals, they look at their Instagram, well, all the things, and then she looks next week and goes to have the call next week. If they have not turned Emerald and hit SC4, does she then message them and say, I'm not doing a call with you?
Okay, so she will do a call with them if they didn't hit those 2 goals. The only way to earn her call is you have to show up on social media. So she'll still do a call if they posted for 7 days and they were on their stories for 10 times every single day for 7 days too. But if they missed last Wednesday, she won't do a call.
So because out of those 3, then the Instagram is the most important for the next call with a new coach.
Yes, because she says if they're not showing up on, that's a hard word to say, showing up on social media, she says, I have nothing to talk about with them.
Okay.
So then, if they come on and they haven't hit Emerald yet, well, then they kind of dive in. Well, let me look, what do your invites look like? Pull up your invites, and it's almost playing detective a little bit. Like, what's going on and why aren't you hitting Success Club? Or why aren't you Emerald yet? If you're posting every single day consistent, there should be no reason why this is happening. So that's when she dives deeper in. Okay, cool. So that's the accountability to coaching part, is really holding their hands, telling them exactly what they need to do, and then maybe set a day aside. Like, these calls don't need to be a half hour either with your team. Do it for 10 minutes. Reach deeper into your organization too. Don't just use your PS coaches, use your PS coaches. Reach deep into your organization, get them started, get them these wins, hold them accountable. And that's kind of how you'll find your runners. And that's how the duplication even starts. You got to get them these small wins right from the beginning. Saying who's your accountability partner, who's your first 3 people, set these goals with them, hold them accountable. After 1 week of them showing up, they're going to kind of start getting the feel goods, right? If that's not happening, all of a sudden they're like, this is hard. This is hard. It's not working for me. When they post on social media like 1 time a week and they're like, oh, I didn't hit diamond with this one post. What's going on? Right? All of a sudden it's hard. So the more simple, it's going to be better for all you guys. with your recruiting, with holding your coaches accountable, with your follow-ups. Everything just needs to be simplified, and it will happen. Okay, questions. Talk to me. Did this help? Did this give you guys any ideas?
I can tell you right now that the idea of holding people accountable is freaking them out.
With coaching?
Yeah, just a little bit. Like, you know, can you do this? Will you do this? I think that's freaking them out. I think that just is a different layer of accountability I don't, you know, we all go, okay, hit Augusta 4, and then they don't do it. We're like, okay. And then we scatter around trying to find new coaches. And then we're like, where are all the business builders? Okay. And I don't think we do any of this system. And I will tell you that we've talked about this a multitude of times. I have put in my welcome email too, like, okay, now who are your 3 people? And no one ever comes back to me with 3 people. So I've listened to Emily Palmer say that for a year. I took that line, put it in my welcome email. I'm like, no one ever comes back and tells me that they've
come back with 1.
Like the welcome email when you send out.
But when you give them 3, when you say who's your first 3 people, do they at least come back with 1 person or no one?
Very often, no. No, I don't have anyone. And I'm like, you have no one in your life interested in fitness and health, yet you are. This is weird. But I have tried that too. And so there's got to be another way for me to word it, for other people to word it, that will help get those people. Because when I listen to Emily and Ashley talk about it, it's like, well, yes. Yeah, I signed up too. And then I put that out there and no one ever comes back with someone.
Maybe it's more, maybe the 3 people is too much. Maybe it's something as simple as who's your accountability buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's
I
your
like
buddy
that better,
have come in and do this with you?
Yeah.
I mean, think of all the things that you guys have tried with your best friend, your sister, your mom, because they're like, I'm doing this thing, right? Like, I've signed up for the weirdest crap ever because my best friend did it.
Right.
So I think it's almost even making it more simple. And then right in parentheses, friends and family is a great place to start. Like, get them off social media for the first one. And even if they bring in 1, that's great for you.
Yeah.
That's great for them. It's great for their confidence boost. They're getting more of a discount. They're halfway to Emerald. Like, they're feeling the goods without you before you even get on a call with them.
Well, I like the idea of just bringing it down to 1, you know, and calling it more of an accountability partner. Although I can't tell what anyone else on this call thinks because their faces are like this. And I'm like, yes, I love it. So I like it, Sydney. Thank you for suggesting that to me. I'm writing it down. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. April, did you have a question?
I was just going to say, like, I don't think it really freaks any of us out as far as that goes. I think it's just more of like a light bulb moment. Like, yes, this is what we need to do, because I have to get out of because I started as a discount coach does not mean I want everybody to do the same. And so, like, for me, it's giving my new coaches permission to succeed from the get-go, even though I took 2 years to do anything. And that's like a mind shift in what I'm communicating into social media. So to me,
and how do you talk about that? Like, because I always feel like I've said, you know, it took me 8 months to get started and I wish I would have started sooner. Like, do you talk about that? Because I think we should talk about that more.
Yeah. Like, I feel like after I get the post together, I'm like, I should have done that. And it's like, I need to, like, sometimes just take a little bit more time in my, like, scheduling of social media to get that point across. But yeah, like, setting those tiny little things, because I think we all want to know what to do. And if we set that standard for our new coaches to do this, and this, then out of the gate, they know the 5 steps that they have to do. So I think it's just more like just getting into the routine of giving those expectations from the beginning for those people that really truly have somewhat of a desire to work the business.
Yeah. And I think like if you ask that question at the beginning on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about this business? You can go back to them and say, okay, well, remind me again, what did you say? What did you rate yourself? And they said an 8. And you can say, okay, well, this is what I expect of 8. This is what I expect of 8s to be doing every single day. Try again this week. Let's go. As long as they're posting on social media, you can get on a call with them. If they're not, like, don't waste your time, right? If they're not going to be posted on, like, that's like the business, right? So if they're not going to do that, don't get on a call. But if if they're taking a couple weeks to hit Emerald, that's okay. As long as they're posting on social media, play detective, give attention to the people who trust you. And that's what I think is a huge key right there is like, if these coaches come on and they're trusting you, and you're at the beginning, if you're giving these self-reflective questions, say, I'm looking for someone disciplined, I'm looking for someone to hustle, they come on and that's who you're spending your time with, guys, like they could be the next Emily Favre, right? They could be the next you. But it's just giving those. I know for me, if I came on and I'm like, yeah, I would love to earn $500 a month, I would expect you guys to teach me exactly how to earn $500 a month from day one. And I don't want to hear like the fluff of the compensation plan. Like, that's great. I need to know that at some point, but I want to know like the nitty gritty. Like, okay, you're going to post on social media this. Here's some examples of exactly what you need to post. Let me give you
another question, Sydney, that I think, because I think every coach on this call is very much nitty gritty, like very much like, tell me what to do and let's go. And I don't know, including myself, but I don't know if all of us, including myself, no, I don't care if you take her. Okay. I don't know if all of us, including myself, get on social media and actually come across like that. Like, I wonder if we come across a little more, come on, and we'll take care of you. When I think for most of these ladies, they're like, tell me what I need to do and let's go. And I think that they connect with coaches like that on their team. Like, tell me what I need to do and let's go. And the workers and the people that want to go. But I wonder if, myself included, we're coming on social media and being a little more warm and fuzzy instead of being that person that we would want. Does that mean, am I making sense, or am I just rambling?
So we talked about this yesterday. I ran a 5 to 8 star call, and they said, you know, I've realized my social media, I keep talking about the community, like, come on these fun trips, come here and do this with me, come and do this with me. So when I'm recruiting people, they're just like, oh, this is fun. Like, when's the next trip? Like, when do I get to go on this thing? And they're not willing to hustle. They're not really willing to work for it. But if you start talking about like, I need someone who's disciplined. I need someone who's hustle. I need someone who's going to put the work in to be able to come on these trips. Like, the community is great, but also talk about like the work that happens. Best Fix is a great example of it. She runs sneak peeks to scare people. She's like, I run sneak peeks to scare people so that they know exactly what they're getting into. So when they come onto my team, they're like chomping at the bits. Like, okay, what's my first step? Okay, how do I hit Success Club? Okay, what do I need to change with my social media? Like, they're asking her because
I'm laughing at JD Parsons right now. So JD, you were our me from last week. Like, that was me last week. What the average invites be per day to hit Success Club 30 by the end of the month? That's an interesting question.
That is an interesting question. And I don't know if I have an exact answer for you. I know someone like Kate Schultes, she's sending out at least 63 invites every single day. And she's a little bit more than that, as she's like around SC 60, I think, every single month. And then right now she said, because I was on the call with her yesterday, she usually does 63 invites a day. She's like, April was a hard month for her. And so now she's really hustling. So now she's over 100. So 30 a day, 30 Success Club 30 plus, I would probably say 30 invites to 40 invites probably. Like, it just, you have to think it's about 1 out of every 10 person you recruit will be your next business builder. So how many people does that invite take for you to get one is kind of probably your own math situation you have to figure out. But I would say probably 30.
Here's my question for these ladies, because I'm really gonna have to gut check and go back and look at my own social media, see what I'm doing. Like, how many of you think that you are doing what Sydney is talking about and that actually like putting out those qualities? Because I think that's brilliant. Is anyone doing that? Because I think that's so smart, like actually naming those kinds of qualities.
Yeah, like, what do you want? Like, who's your avatar? You know, who are you talking to every day? Are you talking to someone who just wants to come on all these fun trips with you and do all the fun stuff? Or are you looking for someone who's willing to put their head down and their blinders on and hustle to be able to go on those fun trips? Like, put them together.
Karen, did you want to add?
Can you hear me? Okay. I wasn't sure because my setup in my office is really weird. So I did that this week. I did a really like, this is what I want. And it was bang, bang, bang. And it's like, I want someone who works and who's passionate, who's willing, knows it's going to take hard work to reach their dreams. And you know what? The only people who liked it were other coaches.
So interesting. So maybe we need to do it more. Maybe the first time isn't the one that, I mean, that's, that's like the one workout and wanting to lose 10 pounds. Maybe we have to, maybe people are like, wait, what? She's what? And maybe the more you talk about that, then the more people will connect with that. Are you going?
I 100% agree with that. I think this business is about consistency. I want to memorize your story. I want to memorize that you're looking for someone like this. So when I'm having one of those days where I need something extra and I want to do something and I want to earn income or something like that, my mind automatically goes to you, Karen, because you've talked about it 110 times and I've memorized exactly who you're looking for, exactly what you're doing, exactly how you could help me. One time,
kind of totally out of my character. I haven't posted like that before. I've posted like that for my challengers, for people, my who want to get into my groups. I've been really very direct on that, but not for coaches. So I think you're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did the same
Someone
thing.
describes you, like you're looking for you. So what qualities do you have? And I don't think that I've ever really done. It's so, dang it, Sydney. It's so simple that it's smart. Christy, go ahead.
I was going to say, Karen and I actually talked about this behind the scenes, just the two of us, because it was after we watched the Josh Coates call the other day. And he said, these are power words and these are enhancement for power words, and try sending out a post that says, this is what I want. And I did the same thing, and I got a little bit more engagement. It wasn't just coaches, but it was people that had been following me for a while that still, are still just watching, which is fine. But I think for so long I have posted with such kid gloves because I didn't want to scare people off. And I think these people are probably thinking, wait, I thought you just, drank a shake and worked out and hung out with your friends on Tuesday to work. They didn't really, I think they were kind of shocked that this is what I'm doing and this is what I want to do to move forward. So I think you saying, just keep doing it, just keep doing it will probably pay off in the long run.
100%.
Because I also wonder when we do, like when we take the Disney trip or next week when we go have lunch, like how many of us post a picture and we'll talk about the community, but how many of us go, do you know what? I actually busted my ass to get to this. This was a year of work to be on this trip that I got to go. And the benefit was I got to hang out with these amazing women, but that was a lot of hard work on my end. And I love that I'm working hard and showing my kids I'm working hard. Like, I don't know that I say that. I just like, this is awesome. But I don't know that I talk about the hard work. So if I'm not, you're probably not. And so why are we not doing that? I think we should do more of that.
100%. I mean, at the end of the day, you attract what you talk about. Okay. So if you're just talking about the fun, you're going to get a whole bunch of yellows, which nothing's wrong. I'm a yellow too. But like, you're going to get that personality that's just like, yay, when are we going to have fun? When's the next trip? Can we do lunch? Like, they're almost going to be fangirling over you more than like coming to work with you. Like, do you want someone to come work with you or do you want someone just to fangirl over you? So really at the end of the day, every post you make, what you talk about is what you attract. Every single post.
So one thing I started doing just this week was picking a day on my stories based on my crazy schedule, but picking a day, and it's called like Work With Me Tuesday, where I talk about coaching every day, but there's one day a week where I really post a lot of stories and talk very specifically about the hard work that I'm doing, very specifically, and like saying that I'm sending invites. And you may be getting an invite from me, and it's totally okay if it's not for you, but that's what I'm doing right now. And now I'm following up with the people that haven't talked to me or that have gotten back to me, and being very explicit about that. And also showing, okay, I have twins and a toddler as well. How am I fitting that in with what I'm doing now? And like, I know that a lot of my coaches work full time and a lot of people out there work full time, but the point is I'm not working like 24 hours a day, but when I'm working, and saying things like we're talking about that we're putting in posts, like saying that on stories. And so while I'm talking about coaching every day, there's like one day that I'm going to dedicate to really diving into it. So then the people who are actually interested in it get to understand better what I'm doing, but I don't want to do that every day because then people are like, okay, but since none of my days look the same, every Work With Me Tuesday is going to look different. There's some Tuesdays that we have doctor's appointments. There's some Tuesdays that we go to the grocery store, whatever. So the point of it is to really
do what we're talking about through stories and being able to communicate that with them.
So that way, if someone's watching you and they don't get an invite from you, they could maybe be like, well, I'm not getting an invite. I'm going to message her because I didn't get an invite.
It holds me accountable to actually sending people invites, and it kind of like lessens the fear of inviting, because I already told them, like, hello, I can see that you're watching my story. I'm sending you an invite, and hello, I know you're not responding to me. Totally fine. Just tell me you're not interested. And like last couple of days, whenever it was, I don't know what it was. I had this kind of rant about being busy and how everybody's busy, and I'm going to send you an invite and you're going to say, I'm too busy. Please don't say you're too busy, because everybody's busy. If it's not a priority to you, will you just message me and say, hey, it's not a priority to me? And if people unfollow me, then see ya. Like, I don't want you to follow me anyway. But just being really direct about it. And then it's like, well, they're expecting an invite from me, or they're expecting a follow-up from me because I've told them I'm going to send it. So
I think that is genius too, because on Tuesdays you can show, hey, I'm busy, but look how I fit this in, like power pockets. Like, my kids are napping, this is when I work. I wake up early. I don't watch Bachelor because I'm working because of this reason, right? Because of my family, because I'm earning this, because I'm doing this. So it shows, like, it kind of like squashes the busy thing too, because you can show how you're fitting it in. And it's like a gut check too, when you say, you have to type back, like, this is not a priority to me. Is that what you said, priority?
Yeah, I was basically like, a lot of you guys are saying you're too busy. Like, I was a teacher. I know May is busy. I know it's crazy. But guess what? June's going to be busy, and July is going to be busy, and August is going to be busy. And we can always say that we're busy. So when you say you're busy, what it really tells me is there's some other excuse that's standing in your way. It may be that it's not a priority to you right now, which is totally fine. And I say 8 years ago, my health was zero priority. If somebody would have asked me 8 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, no, it's just not a priority to me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's like, to have to type that out, this is not a priority to me. You like automatically, it's like a punch in the stomach, right? Like, why isn't this a priority to me? And why can't I do this? And why can't I earn more income? Or why can't I lose 10 to 15 pounds? This should be a priority for me. So I love that.
And if like one of my coaches, I was talking to my coaches about it, and she was like, well, what if like that really upsets someone? I'm like, well, if you feel convicted about it, then it's probably a sign that, oh, I probably need to do this. Like, maybe if you can't type out, it's not a priority, then it probably means it needs to be a priority for whatever reason. So.
Very cool. Any other questions?
I have something real quick.
Yeah.
In terms of, and I've kind of figured this out myself, but then also hearing in different national wake-up calls, would you say that direct, get to the point type recruiting is more effective, or is it the 3-2-1, or is it they watch you for a year and you are direct? What's the combination that you're seeing now in 2019?
Yeah. So I think first it just matters what platform you're on. If you're on Facebook and you're recruiting and you're inviting and stuff like that, Facebook's more like Match.com. Okay, you do have to go and you have to kind of form, you have to build the relationships. I need you to know their dogs' names, like all of that stuff, and then you can invite. Instagram's like speed dating. People are on Instagram to be sold things. So I don't think there's anything wrong with, I like the 3-2-1 still, where you like, you like a couple pictures, you comment, and then you invite. But I think that invite can be a little bit more direct. Like, hey, I've noticed, Carl, you're so powerful, you're so motivating. Are you a coach as well? Like, say a couple good things and then ask, hey, are you a coach as well? Because worst comes to worst, they're going to say yes. And then, they're going to say, no, what's a coach? Great place to start talking about that. Or I've thought about coaching, or I've heard about coaching, but no, and you'd be like, oh my gosh, well, let me tell you more. Let me get you, like, let's get going, So I think you can be more direct on Instagram, but I still like, go like a couple of their pictures, comment, and then DM. But my DM would be more direct for sure. People are on Instagram to be sold things.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Yes. Also, too, like, when we're talking about recruiting business builders, don't forget about your challenge groups, guys. Like, that's where you're going to find some of your best best coaches. Danielle Natoni said this just barely, and she says, I treat my challengers like they're my top coaches on my team. So she's like, I do, I don't know if she does weekly or bi-weekly, but Zoom calls with them and brings in guest speakers and talks about mindset and talks about, the importance of drinking more water and taking care of yourself, and gets them kind of falling in love with Beachbody, falling in love with like Zoom calls, falling in love with like being around everyone. And then when she goes to get her, do the recruiting over from there, they're like hitting the ground running because they've already kind of got the sense from it. So don't forget about your challenge groups too. Perfect. Any other questions? Did this help a little bit? Kind of get you guys thinking? Some stuff to change or tweak? Cool.
I would love for them to send you their list of 20 items that they love about coaching.
I would love that too. Okay, let's do this. I want you to send me a list of your 20 things that you love about coaching.
Put your email in the chat so they have it.
So you can find me on Facebook at Cindy J. Mower and message me, or you can email me at smower@beachbody.com. Okay, so send me your list of your 20 things that you love about coaching. And then I want you guys to after that, I want you to send me your self-reflective questions. Those are, remember, I'm looking for someone who's disciplined. I'm looking for someone who wants to hustle. I'm looking for someone who knows that they deserve this. Whatever those questions are, I want you to start listing them out. Send them to me so that you always know kind of an idea of what to say at the end of your post. So both things.
Because you would literally have 20 posts.
Oh, and then after that, you have 20 more because you're going to recycle them.
Because it doesn't go away just because, it gives me more time. And 22 days later, it still gives me more time. I can now just talk about it in another way.
Yep, it's so true. Be creative. Show, where you were before Beachbody and then who you are today and the reason why you signed up. And tell me your why again and what part of your why have you guys already achieved? All the great things that Beachbody has already offered you and how you can help. Remember, 75% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. How can you help them? Talk about what's their pain point. Like, what was your pain point at the beginning? What is the reason why you kind of came on, and address those pain points publicly? I needed some gas money. This is where I'm at today now. Now I can afford my gas money and a new car, and this is what I'm looking for to be able to help someone to do that, Address the pain points publicly in those, I think, works too.
And for some women or men, I had a girl reach out to me yesterday. I think she's a coach on another team, but in her message, some way she's like, we really don't need the money. I thought, okay, A, that's weird, but B, your children being little, you may not know, but see, if that's true, if you really don't need the money, then we also have to make sure that we're talking about the other pieces about the business that someone might connect with if income's not their driver, because not everyone they might need the money but don't know it or don't know it yet or whatever, but maybe income is just not their driver. So we also have to make sure that we're talking about, if we did come in for income, what else have we learned? Or if we did come in for community, what else have we found? If we did come in just because we wanted to get more fit, what else have we found? Because why I came in may not connect with someone else, but they might need the other pieces, or they might need that piece and just don't know it yet or don't want to admit it yet. So we don't want to, only talk about that one.
For sure. I would say one of them is time. That's something that everyone needs more of, and you can't buy it. So time more with your family, time more with, your community, time more with your best friends, time more with your spouse, date nights, like all that stuff. That's something that can be bought, and it's something that Beachbody helps out a lot with. Cool. Okay, I'm excited for your guys' messages.
Oh, look, Jamie, you have one side of your mouth is up. Yay!
I love it.
Well, thanks you guys for being on. Cindy, thank you so much. This was great. I took 3 pages of notes.
Good.
Yes, it was awesome. I mean, my gosh, if you can't, the day you stop learning in this business, you might as well just quit. So I love the accountability partner and the welcome email. I loved it all. I loved it all. Sydney, you're awesome.
Good. Thank you guys so much. Let me know if you need anything at all. Just message me, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.